more than 10 years back, you became an actor with Badmaash Company. 5 years later, you got into OTT. And that was a time when OTT wasn't even popular, you know? And now
Yeah.
we're here. Now we're here with Undekhi too. So tell me, what has your whole journey been like?
Wow, as an actor, it has been such an interesting journey because when I started off, ऐसा नहीं कि मेरे पास zero acting experience था. I had participated in a lot of plays in school, and उसी तरह से school के अंदर अंदर में जो theatrics हम करते हैं, उसमें I had been part of a few good English plays, a couple of good Hindi plays also, although mostly as a singer. And interesting लगता था हमेशा, you know, to prepare for that and the entire mystique that is around a theatrical stage, the lights, the wings, all of that, the audience sitting in front of you. लेकिन इसके बावजूद भी मैंने कभी ये नहीं सोचा था कि I will act, which is why it was like, okay, fine, I'm a dentist, I've studied to be this, and I can sing, so this is what I'm going to try to do. तो सबसे पहला जो एक opening innings जो so to say is straight away with Badmaash Company, and obviously I remember when I got the call for that, I was like, I don't care what the role is. I don't care. मेरे 2 scenes हैं, 10 scenes हैं, पूरी picture में हूँ, नहीं हूँ. I'm just going to say yes to it. And it is to the credit of my director Parmeet that he said, don't worry, I'm not going to short charge you. I'm going to basically give you a good role, and you've been selected for a particular purpose. And शायद वहाँ से एक पूरी एक जो लालसा कहते हैं कि you know, hey, I can act. People are putting that faith in me, and now it is up to me to work hard to better my skill and to look out for more projects as well. But considering कि वो time था when you only had either you had the theater, the movies, or you had TV serials. TV serials में मैं कहीं fit नहीं होता. The whole thing of TV serials don't sit well with me either. So वहाँ पे yes, there was not that much that was happening. There were a lot of similar roles that were being offered to me, like Zing, कि alcoholic है, girl beater है, and all of that. And I'm like, great, but I've already done this. I want to do something different. And 5 years later, even before the OTT thing happened, what happened was Byunkish Bakshi for me, and that was a masterclass in itself. I mean, उसके बारे में तो एक अलग interview होना चाहिए. But you're right. Actually, OTT, if I am remembering it correctly, I had done something for YRF ka online only. They had started something called a man's life, a woman's life, something like that.
A man's life, yeah. By films.
Yes. So this was another time altogether. It was in such an infancy wala stage to see where it has come today, where it is there is a literal मतलब bouquet है यार कि आपको जो चाहिए आपको देखना है हर एक mood के लिए हर एक audience के लिए there is something, and there are also stories that I did not think would ever come on Indian screens, on Indian television, or whatever platform we're watching it on. So I'm really glad कि यार ये हो गया है, and that I can say, yay, I'm one of the early movers in this as well.
True that. So tell me, like, let's talk about Undekhi. Have you been able to see the first season of the show, and what were your views if you have?
So when I was offered the role for Abhay in the season 2, एक मेरा conscious decision था कि मैं season 1 नहीं देखूंगा. Once I got to know what my character graph is, because it is connected to the Atwals, it is connected to what is happening, but there is a very peripheral connection to it. तो मैं नहीं चाहता था कि मेरा जो character है वो बहुत ज़्यादा influenced हो जाए by what has already gone in season 1 and how it has been shot, how it has been executed, performed वगैरह. मैं एक अलग बनाना चाहता था क्योंकि अभय का character भी थोड़ा वैसा ही है. He is disconnected, he is aloof, and I wanted to bring that as part of my preparation. So as much as I wanted to watch the first season, I'm like, नहीं, ये इतनी छोटी कुर्बानी मैं दे सकता हूँ. And I'll tell you why it was also so difficult, क्योंकि जिस दिन मुझे audition का call आया, मैं already पहाड़ों में था. I was in Himachal, and I was on a nice long vacation. And this role comes to me, and जो उसके character points थे, मैंने बोला यार ये तो मैं already इस mood में ही हूँ. मैं already बहुत बाबा mood में हूँ. मैं already बहुत contemplative हूँ कि दुनिया, मोह माया, पैसा, क्या है ये सब, all of that. And मेरे साथ जो उस कैंप में 3-4 लोग और रह रहे थे, they like, अरे क्या हुआ, what are you shooting this audition for? And I said, यार एक show है अनदेखी करके, second season चल रहा है, क्या बात कर रहा है? Arey, it is such a good show. So all these friends, they were listing down all the characters, Rinku, Papa Ji, DSP, and I'm like, I have no idea what this is, but I know that the show did well. And iska jita jata proof now I'm seeing in you guys. So I said, that is when I realized that the show has obviously done better than even I had heard. Jo word of mouth maine suni thi. And I really wanted to do it. And I'm glad that I have, because it is also a very interesting character. Once obviously your audition gets approved and then you get more details about the role, मैं कहता हूँ कि यार अच्छा डिसीजन था.
True that. यही कि मतलब ये शो भी वो टाइम पे आया था जब OTT भी इतना पॉपुलर था. It was one of the first few shows of Sony Live जिसने इतना amazingly perform किया था. So
and Sony Live has been doing well with all its shows. So I am also a very big fan of sleeper hits, because I consider them black horses. कि उसके पीछे इतना शायद marketing money ना हो, शायद किसी reason से आप नहीं कर पाए, whatever it might be, but it makes it on its own merit. And there is nothing more beautiful than that. Not to take away from any other show that has been promoted heavily, but कोई अगर अपने बलबूते पर इतना कुछ कर सके, then that is really commendable. So it was a no-brainer that I had to be part of season 2.
True. So while you worked in season 2, tell me what was your favorite part about Undekhi season 2?
There are so many wonderful reasons to like it. I don't know if I can reveal too many without revealing too much about the story, but obviously the season is much bigger than the first one. And I'm saying this now because मैंने बाद में देखी season 1. So now and immediately मैंने पूरे cast and crew को मैंने call करके कहा था कि I really loved it guys, and you guys have done such a great job. And season 2 में फिर ये responsibility होती है that as a new character, I'm not coming to compete with anybody. I'm coming to together. We have to build this even better. And इस thought process के साथ में आया था, and which is why it was very like everything was so beautiful, because these guys really welcomed me with open arms. आधे कास्ट को मैं ऑलरेडी जानता हूँ पहले से, आधों को मैं पहली बार मिला. And they did not make me feel like अरे एक और आ गया. Like it was like come we'll just make this, we'll take this story forward together. And I have a lot of off camera things to say कि हाँ ये मुझे बहुत मजा आया था, enjoy किया था, because the rest of them are too spoilery that they might give me. But without giving away too much, I would say कि pretty much the scenes that I've shot with Devuda, because I really love him as an actor, those were really very exciting. They were a lesson in itself, because you never know what or how he's going to do things. He's constantly improvising. And so as an actor आपको बहुत सीखने को मिलता है. कैमरा जब बंद हो जाता है तो वो गाना शुरू करते हैं, वो गाना शुरू करते हैं तो मैं गाना शुरू करता हूँ, और फिर हमारे मेरे देवुदा और आशीष सर के बीच में जुगलबंदी चल रही होती है. All three of us are sitting while these guys are setting up the lights and camera position, setting सब कुछ चल रही है. So we would have those great moments. I had a lot of very beautiful on and off camera moments with Apeksha. She is a very dedicated actor, and what I really like about her is that she has consciously, just like how I am trying to move away from certain perceptions and do certain kind of roles, uske liye bhi I think बहुत important था कि okay, so fine, I've come from a pageant background, but I can act. I am much more than just a great face. And to take a character like this, I think इस तरीके से हम दोनों का character जो अनदेखी में है and what we are in real life, we are constantly striving towards something similar. And which is why a lot of those conversations that we had, और इतनी खूबसूरत जगह पे गए जहाँ शायद बाकी सब भी नहीं गए, because we got to explore a few more locations. These were some really, I guess you will see them when you see the show.
Okay, so you told me about Dibyendu, and since you've seen the show, you know that he sings throughout the show. Like, so is that going to happen with your character as well? Are we going to expect something like that?
No, unfortunately not. Yeah, because it, I mean, ऐसा होता तो बहुत मजा आता. In fact, it would have probably created a very moment of black comedy perhaps. कि
Okay.
यहाँ से ये गाना शुरू करे, it would have been very amazing. But off camera जो हमारे phones पे ये सारे moments stored हैं when we've been singing together, those have been beautiful. And who knows man, कहीं और जाके कहीं और गाएंगे साथ में.
Definitely. Okay, so Undekhi, also talks about class difference. Would you like, in your real life, because most of us have faced such difference in real life too. So have you also come across such a situation, or been differentiated in some way? Because वो भी हर किसी के साथ में हुआ है. Like एक वो हो जाता है. They sort of So have you been through such a situation?
In my case, it is class differentiation to nahi hui. It has been more a case of racial discrimination, which has happened ever since I remember. Fortunately, it's not been as much with me as it has been with a lot of other people of Oriental features, चाहे वो जहाँ से भी हों, India में या बाहर से. I have been lucky to be accepted by most people. But I would assume that is also because I've been on national television. A lot of people have seen me across the world, so they know कि ये बंदा दिल से बिल्कुल हिंदुस्तानी है, हिंदी बोलता है, हिंदी गाने गाता है. But for a lot of other people, yes, there has been that, and I've also faced it. More so during ये pandemic के time पे तो बहुत गालियाँ सुनने को मिली मुझे. But मैं उनको बहुत ही प्यार से जवाब देता हूँ या नहीं जवाब देता हूँ, because sometimes it is out of anger. And that anger could be justified. Sometimes it is out of ignorance. And that ignorance is not irreversible, I feel. चाहे वो ignorance race के बारे में हो या फिर class divide के बारे में. वो ignorance irreversible नहीं है. जब तक हम चाहें कुछ सीखना और उसको बेहतर करना, I think anything is possible. Because अगर मैं अपना personal example भी दूँ, मुझे भी from my place of privilege, I never realized that there is a class divide out there. मुझे लगता था नहीं, हम सब अच्छे खासे तो रह रहे हैं, सब प्यार से रह रहे हैं, कोई टेंशन नहीं है. But the more you come across stories, the more you read, the more you see, like अभी हाल फिलहाल में हमारे इंडिया में भी काफी अच्छी फिल्में बन रही हैं क्लास डिवाइड पे, and a lot of discourse is happening over it. तो उन सब चीजों से आप थोड़ा थोड़ा तो कम से कम समझने लग जाते हो कि ये है. And the first step is to acknowledge that it is there. The next step will be to try to bridge that gap. I don't know when that will happen, but at least अगर हम मान ले कि ऐसा कुछ है तो वो जरूरी है. And Undekhi is a prime example of that as to where the class and the money, the whole debauchery that is there, कि घूम फिर के सब कुछ आपकी औकात और आपके money power पे है. And how blindly you can be like that. And we know that the world is like that. अपना Undekhi portrays that very well कि हमारे पावर सर्कल्स में कैसा होता है, जहाँ पे बहुत पैसा है, बहुत रुतबा है और आपको चैलेंज करने वाला कोई नहीं है. अगर है तो उनकी खैर नहीं. तो इट्स अ वेरी रियल पोर्ट्रेयल. एंड इसी में आई थिंक व्हिच इज व्हाई इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. आई वाज टेलिंग समबडी एल्स आल्सो द सेम थिंग कि देयर इज सो मच इविल इन Undekhi दैट यू फील दैट कोई अच्छा पर्सन ही आएगा इनसे लड़ने के लिए. We've already seen in season 1 how DSPs fought with them. We've already seen how Rishi really tried to like do the right thing कि मुझे ethically ये करना चाहिए, and we know what happened to him. So उन मामलों में लगता है कि यार कोई क्यों इस evil के against खड़ा होना चाहेगा. But that is where the beautiful thing is that my character, Abhay's character, is actually not a good guy, but he's somebody who's still willing to do something. Well, as I said, ignorance is not a crime, but not improving on it or not getting better is. So that is what Raf is as well. He's a pretty grey character, but for him to actually come forward and do what is right and to fight, चाहे वो अपने selfish reasons के लिए हो या फिर for the greater good हो, that is what it is. And so you realize that even when evil के against कोई fight कर रहा है, it is evil only fighting against evil.
Yeah, and only they can sort of defeat, because वो उनके अंदर है. They're not completely white. So
yeah.
Yeah. So do you believe that ये जो difference, class difference और सब जो हो रहा है नए generation में, like you will see it is not as much as it was with the older generation. So do you believe that it is because of the, you know, the generation gap, the mentality that those people had कि मतलब it is, you know, slowly passed on. अभी इतना नहीं हो रहा है, but it was always slowly passed on. Do you believe that that was the case and वही show में because वैसे भी दिखाया है? So would you agree with that?
I think it's also because with the newer generations, we've also moved out to different places. We've lived on our own. We've made our own lives, and which is where we tend to see outside the tunnel vision that हो सकता है हमारी family या हमारे मोहल्ले या हमारी society ने हमें दिखाया हो. When you either face them yourself or you see somebody else facing them, आपको और पता चलता है. और इसमें भी दो चीजें होती हैं. I will give you an example of school and college. जब मैं अपने पहले स्कूल में था, बोर्डिंग स्कूल में था, तो रैगिंग होती थी काफी वहां पे. एंड हर बार जब रैगिंग होती थी और बुरा लगता था, तो मैं और मेरे मेरे एक्चुअली माय एंटायर बैच, आई रिमेंबर, हमने बोला था कि यार अच्छा नहीं लगता जब कोई रैगिंग करता है. जब हम सीनियर बनेंगे ना, हम किसी को रैग नहीं करेंगे. एंड दैट इज द डिफरेंस नाउ, बिकॉज बैच आफ्टर बैच आफ्टर बैच एवरीबडी थिंक्स कि अरे मुझे इतना रैग किया गया, मैं भी करूंगा, मैं भी दिखाऊंगा. या तो यू बिकम दैट, or you become ki, you know, why should we set this example? So somebody along the way either sets a good example ya phir wo kehta hai ki nahi, I will be better and I will try to influence other people. I think that is what the newer generations are doing. Aisa nahi hai ki newer generations also don't get misguided, because compared to everybody else, the newer generations are kids, right? And kids are very easy to influence. So कौन आपका मार्गदर्शक है, कौन आपको पथ दिखा रहा है, that is so important. And I do believe that even if there is nobody to show you the path, the newer generation is very intelligent to actually go and do some research, read up a little bit, talk to people. And काफी हद तक चीजें बेहतर भी हैं, काफी हद तक बहुत indifference भी है. It's not possible that so many of us are unaware of so many things, so many problems, चाहे वो class difference हो या जो भी हो. But many of us just decide to turn a blind eye. We're indifferent. Maybe it is not affecting us at all, or maybe it is, and we do not want the status quo to change. So however you use it, in Undekhi, that is the power that is being used to propagate the class divide.
Right. So Chang, you know, I mean, I remember, and matlab, actually you have started your career from TV. Indian Idol, I loved you in Indian Idol, just personally saying. And you know, like it was at a time when it was a youth. But आपका पूरा career is like TV, but you have, unfortunately, like you told me even before that you have you know, either matlab been stereotyped when it comes to acting, but otherwise you have either played a judge or a host. So sorry, a contestant or a host. So so you know, do you see that changing? Do you see that matlab, you know, you can go back and do TV roles, and do you see that happening anytime?
I don't see myself doing TV fiction unless something drastically changes in the content that is being made there. सबसे पहले तो I don't see myself doing a never ending TV serial कि मतलब कर रहे हैं और फिर 3-4 साल 5 साल 10 साल चले जा रहे हैं, because very practically speaking, how do you create consistently, how do you create such great content? We've had some great shows abroad which have been seasonal, कि एक सीजन में आपने 8, 10, 12, 13 एपिसोड्स किए, then you take a break, you go back to the writing board, you come up with compelling stories and characters. But यहाँ पे you cannot blame anybody, because if it has to keep going on and on, where do you have the time to actually write something which is kick-ass for TV series, that is? And which is why the quality, I would say, I'm sorry to say, I have a lot of friends who are working in TV fiction, but the quality is dismal. And उनमें से कोई भी ऐसा नहीं है जो talented नहीं है, सब बहुत talented है. लेकिन जब आपके पास material और limitations ऐसे हैं, what do you do? So which is why I don't see myself doing TV fiction. I've had the chance to do it before, बहुत कम, लेकिन I've had the chance and I've said कि this is not my cup of tea. Very happy with doing TV non-fiction. Non-fiction is also a little bit in the rut right now. I would love to see some new things being done out there, because कभी-कभी when I catch some show going on, I realize कि अरे 6 साल पहले भी हमने यही किया था, अभी भी वही चल रहा है. But yeah, but there are still some hosts that I really enjoy watching. So chalo kuch to ganimat hai ki koi acha ho raha hai. Talent is great out there. All the single dancers, performers who are coming, they're still, I mean, they're actually much better than before. So wo hai. But I think that is where the OTT platform really helped, because यहाँ पे everybody is like, चलो यार, we have the freedom and we can make so many things and so many stories, and pretty much nothing is off limits, so to say. There are very few
Right.
topics that you can't touch because, you know,
Yeah,
but pretty much
yeah.
everything else you can talk about, you can portray. There are actors and writers and performers, directors hungry to make those projects happen.
Right.
So, which is why I think it's great. I have my priorities very straight. Yes, I do love hosting. Singing will never go out of me, but I'm very, very hungry for good roles. And the last year or so has been very interesting in that front, on that front.
That's what. That's what. Okay. So in 2018, you dubbed for the Ant-Man and the Wasp, but that was about it. Did you not get any other projects, or what is happening on that front? Are you going to be dubbing for more films?
So I got called for a couple of other things. It's just again very process hai ki, you do an audition if it fits the thing. I think the most interesting thing would have been I was called to audition for the live action Aladdin, because he's also a singer, right? I mean, it's a
Yeah,
music.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that ultimately, I think Arman did it, and he did a kick-ass job with that. But that was interesting, and overall, like nothing more substantial has come. I would say that was probably the most substantial thing that I was offered. Everything else was like, "Acha, abhi ye ek walk-on character hai, abhi wo hai." So I like that doesn't make much of a difference. I could skip it completely. I would
Yeah.
rather do something more substantial, and by substantial I mean anything that actually makes a difference to the project. It does not really have to be, I have to do the length of what I'm doing. And that
Right.
is kind of my approach to all the work that I do.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, Chang, tell me about your upcoming projects. Also, are you a part of Love, Lust, and Confusion's new season?
We are all dying that LLC 3 should happen. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, because the platforms have switched, it was on View, originally on View.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it has come on Voot. And I just got to know yesterday that the second season was just launched. I
Yeah.
did not, I thought both of the seasons were already there.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that it's there on a more accessible platform. And I know that a lot of people love Yuri Boss, even though it is kind of an extended cameo. Uh, I really loved working with that team. Victor and Neha, very close friends of mine. And it was beautiful to see a dream of theirs come true
Yeah.
after so many years, because they were doing different things. They were behind the scenes on a lot of things. They were the team behind the first Coke Studio India. So wahan se to then see them making their own stuff. Now they've gotten into movies as well. They've already released one, and I'm working on another one of their projects, another one of their films. So
Okay.
it is good to see that. LLC 3 ka pata nahi. We'll have to really like go after Wood and like, come on, make a third season. I know this is not your IP, but still make it. It's a good show.